Right guys, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Is this on the piss? I'm not yet. So probably won't be a drunken Homebrew Wednesday. Not like last week's. But let's crack it. Let's start it with a beer. This is Oregon from Summer Wine Brewing, and it's the West Coast Pale Ale. Cascade Hop Pale Ale. I've had this before and it's absolutely stunning. So let's get it cracked open. Let's get it poured and then we can talk about what's happened in the week. Look at that. My oh my. Keep going back for this one. This one is one that I'd have a stock on in the fridge. It's beautiful. It surprised me, and it shouldn't surprise me, but when I found out where it was brewed, it surprised me. I thought it was actually brewed in America. It's fantastic. Not to say that there aren't good breweries brewing beer in England and UK. Of course there is. However, this is brewed in Yorkshire. When I think of Yorkshire, it's the rolling dales and old men in flat caps and sheepdogs and dry stone walls and tractors and one man and his dog and Last of the Summer Wine, which for you guys in the UK you'll know what that is. And then it made me chuckle when I read where it was actually brewed, the exact point. Home Firth, which is where the show Last of the Summer Wine was shot. And I've been to Home Firth, and it's the most boring place on the planet. There's nothing there at all. It's just boring. So for them to come out with this makes it even more shocking, and it shouldn't be shocking because it's just people brewing beer. Doesn't matter where their location is. But it's wrong to think, it's wrong to be shocked by that, I think. But I was. So this one is so fresh on the hop. The cascade is just there, just bouncing out of the glass. And you're getting some of the crystal that's in there. It's fantastic. It's really good. Yeah, lovely malty characteristic to it. It's paired well with the cascade, but it's all about the cascade on the flavour as well as the aroma. The flavour is the same. It's packed full of cascade. It's a lovely medium mouthfeel, and there's just enough residual sweetness, yada yada yada, to balance the bitterness. But it's a well brewed West Coast Pale Ale, and I'd be really happy if I could produce something like this. If I could clone the recipe for this, I'd probably brew it as my staple. And I've had a couple more from the summer wine. This was the first one I drank, and I was so hooked on it from the first sip that I went and got a few more. I've drunk them before. They had the Pacer, which was an all-day pale ale. An all-day IPA. They had is it Paldrin or Paldrino, which is the coffee and amaretto stout, imperial stout. That was damn good. And Sabertooth, which was an IPA, which was the last or most recent one that I drank. And like I said on Untapped, if you follow me on Untapped, in fact I posted it to Facebook, it was just a really nice IPA, just a traditional IPA. When you think of IPA, that's it. No whistles and bells, it wasn't over the top with anything, but it was an IPA, well brewed, really enjoyable. Anyway, I went back to the shop and they've got these in. So this is the Redwood American Red Ale, 5.8%. So I'm looking forward to trying that one. We've also got Diablo IPA, they do like their IPAs. I think they do about 3. And again, the Oregon West Coast Pale Ale, which we're drinking now. So what's happened this week? Well, cheers Uncle Jonah. He pointed out that I'd planted the hops too close together, and looking at them the next day, they were really close together. They were about 2 foot apart. And then I was talking to Sam and Harry at the weekend. Sam had been talking to an actual hop farmer, and asked him how much room to put between them, and he said lots. So I've dug them up. Nothing really much was happening with the root system because they've not been in that long, but there are signs of something happening with the spruts, and they're now about just over 6 foot apart, replanted, ready for them jutting up. The weekend was a disaster really, because Abby had gone out all weekend, which is fine. She never goes out anywhere at the weekend, and so I had to look after Ellie, so I didn't get time to bottle the flask up. I didn't get time to what else was I going to do? Build the trellis for the hops to grow up, and I didn't get time to sort out the IPA, to dry hop the IPA, which we'll talk about in a minute. So it's a bit of a disaster, and I've come in today and I've got the bottling gun out so I can film the filling of the flask, and I haven't got time tonight to put it all together, clean it, sterilise it and whatnot. However, at the weekend I'm hopefully going to have a look at it. I think they've set it up wrong. The beer line's meant to be the long one, and they've put all the connections for the beer lines on the short one. So I need to sort them out, and they've clamped all the hose ends onto the tails and stuff. So it's just a faff. I need time to just sit down with it. I can't do it tonight. But the IPA that's in the fermentation fridge that we cocked up when we brewed it poorly and pitched the yeast too high. Let's have a look at it now. Oh my god, right. Here is the IPA that we brewed up when I was damn ill. I've just done a gravity reading and we're sitting after 2 weeks at 10:30, so it looks like we've had a stuck fermentation. But I have a feeling that I pitched the yeast too high, and that has had some considerable effect on it. So possibly if I leave it to just carry on, although there's no activity in the blow off, it would eventually get down to the 1019, which is desired. But what I'm going to do is, because I've cocked up, and I don't know if you can see that thing there right in the middle, that I was trying to drag a sample off with a skewer, and I sanitised the tip of it so I could just dip it in and get it on my old refractometer, and I nudged my hand, dropped the whole thing in. So I'm not holding much hope out for this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rack it into secondary, and I think I'm going to pitch some more yeast in there just to see if that bumps it up. And I've also bumped up the old fridge to 20 degrees, see if that helps out. And we'll see what happens. So American West Coast Mangrove Jacks, and we'll see if that helps. See if it starts fermentation again. Yeah, we'll see. Pitch the yeast. I upped the temperature a couple of degrees in the fridge. Checked it the next day, nothing. Checked it the day after that, nothing. There's nothing happening in there. It finished at 10:30, and I was going to chuck it. I was going to sling it, and Harry persuaded me not to. He said, taste it, see what's happening. So what I didn't want to do was chuck good money after bad, because it requires 100 grams of Galaxy dry hopping. And I thought, well, if it's not good, if it's not perfect, then I'm wasting 100 grams hops into it. So I came in today to sort it out, to crash cool it, open the door, and there is stuff growing on the surface. So that skewer that I'd sanitised halfway down, that I dropped in, has obviously dragged bacteria in there, and it started to grow. So I am definitely not going to carry on with that one. It's going to be dumped. I know it's frigging awful dumping beer like that, but sometimes you've just got to quit while you're ahead. I don't want to waste any more money on it. 100 grams of Galaxy going in there would just be stupid. So what I'm going to do is brew at the weekend, and I'm brewing up the Pinky Out Pale Ale. It started as a pale ale, but really it's turning out more like an IPA. It's going to be about 5.6%, but the IBUs on it are reaching 79, 80 IBUs. I was fiddling about with the recipe today, and so I don't know whether it's pale ale or an IPA. So anyway, that's going to be at the weekend. I'm going to be brewing up. I'm going to be in here Friday and gutting this place and getting ready to start early. The banana wine, that's the thing I was going to do at the weekend. The banana wine is now in the freezer as of now. I've just put it in. So let's have a look at this. Right, so we'll sort the wine out. Sort the wine out for freezing. Here she be. Let's put this sanitised bit of cling film over it so nothing drops in. Because I broke the airlock, if you remember. So yeah, I'm going to be freeze distilling this, or concentrating this. I'm going to try and get this in here without dropping the bloody wine, and here we go. That's the first one filled. Fill number 2 up. Oh, come on. Can it there, because I'm dragging some shit through. But they are ready now for the old freezer. Now I just need to find a room in the freezer. So yeah, the banana wine's sorted. That's in the freezer. Minus 20 in the freezer. I don't know how it's going to freeze. I'm going to keep it in there as long as it needs to be in there. A couple of people said that check the temperature of the freezer, because you need to have a really, really cold freezer to freeze it. But minus 20. If it don't freeze in that, it ain't going to freeze in anything. So that's it. I'm going to hopefully keep this relatively short. I've waffled on enough. I've got other editing to do. Thanks for the response on the Idle Valley Brewing beers that I've been reviewing. I'll be reviewing these beers from Summer Wine, because tell you what, they are brewing some good stuff, and I'm going to tell you what I think about them. I might even get the ones I've already done before, drank before, and review them as well as like a series. I don't know. But that's all I've got for this week, guys. So stay safe, keep on brewing, pinky out, and I'll see you all soon. I'm out of here.